You have likely been indoctrinated with the belief that your mind is merely a product of your brain, a sophisticated biological computer confined within the cranial cavity, processing external stimuli like an intricate machine. This paradigm, however, is not just antiquated. It is fundamentally flawed. In truth, your mind transcends such localization. It is not contained, nor is it tethered to the physical boundaries of your body. Instead, your mind manifests as a dynamic energy field, inextricably interwoven with the quantum tapestry that permeates all existence. Even now, as these words resonate with you, your consciousness extends beyond your physical form, beyond your immediate surroundings, and even beyond the conventional understanding of the space-time continuum you perceive as your reality. This assertion is not a flight of poetic fancy. It is the compelling deduction arising from the confluence of modern quantum physics and progressive neuroscience. For many years, rigorous experimentation in quantum entanglement has unequivocally demonstrated that particles can exert instantaneous influence upon one another across vast cosmic distances, devoid of any discernible physical linkage. The state of one particle is mirrored in the other, not due to proximity, but because of their inherent connection within the quantum field. Your consciousness, it turns out, functions according to analogous principles. It is not a mere epiphenomenon of cerebral activity. Rather, it is an integral participant in the immense, interconnected quantum web of reality. Consider the profound implications of this understanding. It signifies that your mind is not a passive recipient of a preordained external world. On the contrary, it is an active agent in the very creation of that world. The reality you perceive out there is not an immutable objective truth. It is, in essence, a sophisticated simulation, an internal construct meticulously assembled through the interplay of your consciousness and the infinite potentialities latent within the quantum field. Neuroscience corroborates this perspective. Your brain does not function like a passive camera, recording an independent reality and archiving it like data. Instead, it actively constructs an internal model, a simulation of reality, drawing upon a rich amalgam of past experiences, ingrained memories, conditioned expectations, and deep-seated emotional imprints. You do not perceive objective reality. You perceive what your brain, guided by subconscious programming, predicts and projects. Yet, the vast majority navigate their lives oblivious to this fundamental truth. They operate under the illusion that their experience of reality is objective, inescapable, and utterly beyond their influence. They believe themselves to be mere reactors to the unfolding drama of the world, never comprehending that the world to which they are reacting is, in significant measure, a reflection of their own unconscious projections. Their minds are, in effect, architecting the very circumstances they perceive as confining them. This is the crux of why your mind is not only non-local but also profoundly creative. You are not a disengaged spectator of your life circumstances. You are an intimate participant in their genesis. Your thoughts, your emotional states, your prevailing expectations. All these are subtle yet potent signals broadcast into the quantum field. These signals interact with the boundless possibilities residing therein, selectively collapsing certain potentialities into the tangible reality you experience. To reiterate, your mind is not a localized entity within your brain, passively responding to an external world. Your mind is an intrinsic component of the quantum field, and through the focused application of your belief, your attention, and your intention, it actively sculpts the very fabric of the world you inhabit. The ramifications of this are truly staggering. It implies that you are already exerting influence over events, situations, relationships, and outcomes far exceeding what your physical senses can perceive or your physical actions can directly touch. Your influence is not constrained by temporal limitations, by spatial distances, or by the conventional laws of causality. It also suggests that, in many respects, you are already experiencing multiple realities concurrently. Each potential version of yourself, each conceivable outcome, already exists as a distinct possibility within the quantum field. The version of you that is thriving, abundant, deeply fulfilled, passionately in love, and spiritually awakened is not some distant, unattainable fantasy. It is a tangible, accessible potential with which your mind can align, connect, and ultimately collapse into your lived, manifest experience. There is, however, a crucial caveat. Most individuals remain unaware of this innate power, and consequently, they exist in a default mode. They unconsciously reiterate the same thought patterns, re-experience the same emotional cycles, and thereby reinforce the same expectations day after day, year after year. As a result, they perpetually collapse the same version of reality, repeatedly. This occurs not because it is the sole reality available to them, but because it is the only one to which their energetic frequency is attuned. This is the self-perpetuating loop. You believe you are reacting to an external reality, but in truth, you are reacting to your own projected simulation of reality, a simulation unconsciously generated based on past conditioning. In doing so, you inadvertently reinforce the same patterns, the same outcomes, and the same perceived limitations. But what if you could interrupt this cycle? What if you could transcend the automatic, unconscious projection and begin to architect reality with conscious intent? What if you could cease to perceive your mind as a passive receiver and instead recognize it as an active transmitter, a potent creative force capable of influencing events across multiple dimensions of reality? This is the very essence of our exploration. For once you fully grasp that your mind is not local, that it is not circumscribed by your physical body or constrained by physical proximity, you can begin to engage with it in an entirely revolutionary manner. You can learn to orchestrate quantum events, specific, intentional shifts within the quantum field that collapse desired possibilities in your favor, drawing experiences, individuals, opportunities, and outcomes into your reality in ways that defy conventional logic and established causality. Before we delve into the practical application of this knowledge, it is imperative that you internalize this foundational truth. Your mind is not confined within your body. It is not a subservient entity beholden to your circumstances. It is a profoundly powerful, creative participant within the field of infinite potential. And right now, in this very moment, it is actively shaping your reality, whether you are conscious of it or not. Therefore, the pertinent question is not whether your mind possesses the capacity to influence reality. The genuine question is, how will you consciously choose to wield this extraordinary power? In the subsequent discussion, we will delve more deeply into the precise mechanisms by which your mind is already sculpting realities, even in its unaware state, and how you can assume conscious mastery of this profound creative process. Most people traverse their entire existence under the conviction that reality is an external force that happens to them, that circumstances, relationships, opportunities, and obstacles are all constituents of an objective world, independent of their internal states. But the profound truth, one that few are fully prepared to embrace, is that reality is not an independent agency acting upon you. It is, instead, a mirror, a projection, a sophisticated feedback loop that continuously and impeccably responds to the energetic signals you are emitting, both consciously and, more predominantly, unconsciously. Right now, without any deliberate exertion on your part, your mind is dynamically shaping your reality in real time. Every thought that crosses your mind, every emotion that courses through your being, every belief you steadfastly hold, each emits a subtle, yet distinct, frequency into the quantum field. This frequency acts as a vibrational blueprint, influencing which of the infinite possible outcomes available within that field will coalesce into your experienced reality. Your subconscious mind plays a pivotal, often underestimated, role in this intricate process. While your conscious mind, the part of you that engages in reasoning, planning, and goal setting, occupies a mere estimated 5% of your total cognitive activity, your subconscious mind is effectively running the show, dictating approximately 95% of your perceptions, behaviors, and choices. Crucially, it operates not based on your articulated conscious desires, but on your deeply ingrained patterns, your habitual thought processes, your emotional set points, your limiting core beliefs, and your conditioned reflexive responses. Therefore, when you consciously declare your desire to transform your life, to attract greater abundance, to experience more profound love, to discover your true purpose, yet continue to operate from the same underlying subconscious programming, you will inevitably find yourself recreating the same familiar reality. This is not because you are undeserving of change, but because your fundamental internal signal, your vibrational broadcast, has not genuinely shifted. The quantum field is impersonal. It is exquisitely precise. It does not deliver what you merely say you want. It meticulously mirrors who you are being on a deep, energetic level. This is precisely why so many individuals feel ensnared, trapped in seemingly endless cycles. They encounter the same types of challenging relationships, the same persistent financial struggles, the same emotional wounds resurfacing in different guises. They often attribute these recurring cycles to fate, ill luck, or external circumstances deemed beyond their control. In truth, however, these cycles are predominantly self-generated patterns, reflections of the subconscious programs operating beneath the surface of their conscious awareness. Neuroscience has compellingly demonstrated that your brain does not readily distinguish between what is occurring in your external environment and what is vividly and emotionally imagined. To your nervous system, a strongly held belief or an intensely felt emotion is as experientially real as any external stimulus. This means that your physical body responds to your internal states as if they are actual, ongoing events. In turn, these physiological states critically shape the energetic signal you continuously emit into the quantum field. Consider this. If you habitually dwell in states of anxiety, unworthiness, or powerlessness, your body will exist in a chronic state of physiological stress. This state becomes your baseline frequency, your energetic signature. And from this frequency, you unconsciously emit signals that tend to draw experiences, circumstances, and interactions into your life that resonate with and validate those internal states. Not as a form of cosmic punishment, but as intricate feedback, as an invaluable opportunity to become conscious of the prevailing pattern and to choose differently. This is the immutable reason why your mind is perpetually creating, whether you are consciously directing it or not. Every single moment, you are broadcasting a specific frequency and, in doing so, collapsing certain possibilities into tangible form while leaving countless others dormant in the realm of potential. You are, in effect, inhabiting what some might term a personal universe, a unique intersection of the quantum field meticulously shaped and colored by your predominant internal states. It is crucial to understand that this framework is not about assigning blame or fostering self-judgment. You are not inherently at fault for the patterns you may have inherited from your familial lineage, your cultural conditioning, or your past formative experiences. However, you are responsible for whether you continue to unconsciously perpetuate and recreate those patterns, or whether you embark upon the transformative journey of conscious creation. The foundational first step in this empowering process is the cultivation of awareness, the profound recognition that your reality is not fixed, static, or predetermined, but is instead fluid, dynamic, and exquisitely responsive to your internal landscape. The quantum field does not particularly heed your conscious affirmations or your well-intentioned goals unless they are robustly supported by an aligned emotional and energetic frequency. For instance, you can repeat the mantra, "I am abundant," daily, but if your subconscious mind remains deeply programmed with notions of scarcity, if your body is still physiologically habituated to the chronic stress of lack, then your signal to the field will be incoherent, a mixed message. The field responds not merely to your words, but to your coherence, the harmonious alignment between your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. This is why individuals who practice manifestation techniques superficially, focusing solely on visualization or positive thinking without addressing deeper energetic alignments, often find themselves disheartened and frustrated. They are frequently unaware that their underlying subconscious programs and their habitual emotional states are effectively overriding their conscious efforts. They are, in essence, attempting to sculpt a new reality from the very same frequency that generated their current one. However, once you truly internalize this dynamic, everything begins to shift. You start to perceive reality not as something solid and immutable, but as something malleable, participatory, and responsive. You transition from viewing yourself as a victim of random, haphazard events to recognizing yourself as a creator engaged in an ongoing, dynamic dialogue with the quantum field. You come to realize that the way you feel as you navigate your day, your predominant emotional state, is not merely a private, internal experience, but an active, potent force shaping the contours of your reality. You understand that your beliefs about yourself and the world are not just abstract ideas, but potent energetic blueprints that organize and structure your experience of life. This represents a profound paradigm shift, moving from unconscious creation to conscious creation, From being someone who passively reacts to reality to someone who recognizes that reality is actively responding to you. From feeling trapped in old, repetitive patterns to becoming a deliberate, empowered participant in the magnificent unfolding of your life. And herein lies a fascinating paradox. Even as your mind is already unconsciously creating realities, you perpetually possess the inherent power to interrupt the prevailing pattern, to consciously shift your frequency, and to thereby initiate new, desired outcomes. This is precisely where the concept of quantum events enters the picture, intentional, focused disruptions of your current vibrational pattern that empower you to collapse new, preferred possibilities into tangible form. In the moments that follow, we will explore the exact nature of these quantum events, how they differ fundamentally from ordinary occurrences, and how you can begin to recognize them unfolding in your own life. Not as mere accidents or inexplicable coincidences, but as clear, discernible signs that you are already interacting with the quantum field in powerful, creative, and often unacknowledged ways. By now, you comprehend that your mind is not constrained by the physical limits of your body, that your subconscious patterns are actively molding your experienced reality, and that your intrinsic energy is continuously influencing the quantum field, regardless of your conscious awareness of this process. But here lies the critical insight that most people overlook. You are already participating in what we can term quantum events. Those pivotal moments where your internal frequency, your focused attention, and the quantum field precisely align to collapse a specific possibility into a tangible, lived experience. A quantum event is not merely a serendipitous coincidence. It is not just something that happens. It represents a specific, often measurable, collapse of potentiality into actuality. The quantum field responding directly to your unique energetic signature and meticulously arranging circumstances to reflect your predominant vibration. You have undoubtedly experienced this phenomenon before, even if you did not recognize it as such at the time. Have you ever found yourself thinking intently about someone you haven't communicated with in years, only to receive an unexpected message from them mere hours later? Have you ever made a firm decision to implement a significant change in your life, and then suddenly the perfect book, the ideal contact, or the most opportune circumstance appears, seemingly out of nowhere? These are not random occurrences. They are manifestations of the field responding to the specific frequency you have broadcasted. When your internal state, your thoughts, emotions, and deeply held beliefs achieves a certain critical level of coherence and intensity, it emits a powerful, resonant signal that vibrates in harmony with corresponding possibilities residing within the quantum field. This resonance acts like a magnetic force, drawing those congruent possibilities towards you. When this alignment becomes sufficiently potent and sustained, these possibilities collapse into your experienced reality as tangible events, circumstances, or encounters. This is what we define as a quantum event, the precise intersection between your internal energetic state and an external outcome that mirrors and consequently reinforces that state. However, most individuals experience these quantum events unconsciously. They occur sporadically, seemingly by accident, and are often interpreted as strokes of good luck or bad luck, without the underlying recognition that these events are the natural, predictable consequence of their consistent, albeit often unconscious, vibrational broadcast. Reflect upon this. If you predominantly reside in a state of fear, anxiety, or scarcity, your interactions with the quantum field will invariably tend to collapse possibilities that mirror that fear, manifesting as conflicts, obstacles, delays, or disappointments. This is not because the universe is punitive or malevolent, but because the field itself is neutral, impartially, and faithfully responding to the energy you consistently emit. Conversely, when you consciously cultivate and sustain states of trust, gratitude, openness, and abundance, you begin to notice that life seems to flow with a different quality. Synchronicities become more frequent, opportunities arise with an almost effortless grace, and individuals who resonate with your newly elevated frequency seamlessly appear in your life. This is not attributable to magic. It is quantum mechanics in dynamic action, filtered and directed through the lens of human consciousness. What most people fail to realize is that these quantum events are not isolated, random accidents, but are, in fact, direct reflections of their internal state. More importantly, they fail to grasp that these events can be initiated and orchestrated intentionally. To understand how this is possible, we need to recognize that the quantum field does not operate on the linear, sequential perception of time as we typically experience it. Within the quantum field, all possibilities, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously as a vast spectrum of potential. The future you, the version of yourself who has already achieved healing, attained success, found profound love, or underwent a significant transformation, already exists as a tangible potential within this quantum landscape. When your current internal state vibrationally matches the frequency of that desired future version of yourself, you effectively create an energetic pathway, a resonant conduit, for that future version to become your present experienced reality. The quantum event, then, is the precise moment where your focused energy collapses that specific possibility into your current life. This is why profound change can sometimes feel instantaneous, almost miraculous. One day you might feel stuck, uncertain, and disconnected, and then, seemingly without warning, everything shifts. The opportunity you've been patiently waiting for materializes. A strained relationship undergoes a positive transformation, or a profound insight lands with such clarity that it changes your entire perspective. However, these shifts are rarely spontaneous in the truest sense. They are the culmination of an internal alignment that has finally reached the requisite threshold, the critical energetic coherence necessary to collapse the desired reality into tangible form. Recognizing that these quantum events are already an ongoing feature of your life is crucial. It signifies that you do not have to passively wait for change to be imposed upon you. You can begin to actively and consciously participate in the creation of these events. You can cultivate a heightened awareness of the moments when your energy is coherent and aligned, and conversely, when it is scattered and dissonant. You can learn to stabilize and sustain the specific frequency that resonates with the experiences you genuinely desire. You can start to view every moment not as something to be merely endured, but as a potent opportunity to emit a clear, coherent signal that actively shapes what happens next. Quantum events are not about forcefully bending reality to comply with your will. They are about becoming so impeccably aligned internally that reality, by its very nature, has no choice but to reflect that profound alignment. In the section that follows, we will transition beyond theory and delve into practical application. I will guide you through a structured process that you can utilize to consciously create quantum events, to intentionally shift your internal state, and to thereby initiate outcomes that align harmoniously with your highest and most heartfelt intentions. This is where the power of understanding blossoms into the power of tangible transformation. Are you prepared to learn how to create quantum events not by arbitrary chance, but by deliberate, conscious choice? Let us continue. Now that you possess a clearer understanding of how quantum events are already shaping your life, often operating beneath the radar of your conscious input, let's progress to the most pivotal aspect of this journey: how to intentionally orchestrate these events. This endeavor is not about forceful manipulation or attempting to control external reality through sheer effort. Instead, it is about aligning yourself with such precision and coherence to a desired possibility that the quantum field naturally, and almost inevitably, collapses that specific outcome into your tangible, lived experience. The process of creating a quantum event commences long before the event itself materializes in your physical reality. It begins with the meticulous cultivation of an internal state, an energetic and emotional frequency, that perfectly matches the vibrational signature of the reality you wish to experience. This is precisely where most individuals encounter obstacles. They attempt to alter their external circumstances without first undertaking the essential inner work of transforming their internal coherence. However, the quantum field is not swayed or manipulated by brute effort or struggle. It is exquisitely shaped by resonance. Here is the methodology to begin this profound journey. Step 1. Clarify your intention with emotional resonance. The quantum field, while containing infinite possibilities, responds most directly and powerfully to focused, coherent, and emotionally charged intentions. Your initial task is to achieve profound clarity regarding what you genuinely desire, not in vague, generalized terms, but as a specific, vividly imagined, and emotionally resonant vision. What precise experience do you wish to collapse from the realm of potential into your tangible reality? What version of yourself are you aspiring to step into and embody? Even more crucially, why do you desire this? What is the deep emotional significance, the core feeling state, associated with that desire? Quantum creation is not an exercise in passive wishing or hopeful longing. It is an act of definitive choosing, of declaring with unwavering certainty, "This is who I am now becoming." The field responds to this embodied identity, not to pleas or supplications. Therefore, your intention must be infused not with desperation or lack, but with profound conviction and an inherent sense of its existing reality. Step 2. Embody the state of fulfillment. Once your intention is crystal clear and imbued with emotional significance, the next crucial step is to actively embody the emotional and energetic state of the version of you who is already living that desired reality. This is a common stumbling block for many. They operate under the misconception that they must wait for external circumstances to change before they can allow themselves to feel differently. However, the quantum model unequivocally demonstrates that it is the feeling, the internal state, that precedes and magnetizes the external event, not the other way around. If you desire to experience profound love, genuine abundance, liberating freedom, or vibrant healing, you must begin to generate the internal state that corresponds to that outcome now, in this present moment. This is not about engaging in mere fantasy, but about cultivating an embodied, physiological reality. Feel it deeply within your body. Breathe it into your nervous system as if it were oxygen. Allow this desired state to saturate your entire energy field until it feels more familiar, more natural than your old, habitual state. This step is absolutely essential because the quantum field responds not primarily to what you think, but to what you broadcast vibrationally. Your thoughts may set the initial direction, but it is your deeply felt emotions that provide the energetic fuel. Without this profound emotional alignment, your signal to the field will be weak, incoherent, and ultimately ineffective. Step 3. Expand your energy into the field with conscious connection. With your intention clarified and your desired emotional state vividly embodied, you are now prepared to interact consciously and purposefully with the quantum field. Visualize your personal energy, imbued with this new frequency, expanding beyond the confines of your physical body, radiating outward into the space that surrounds you. See and feel it connecting with the infinite, intelligent field of potentiality, much like a ripple gracefully extending across the surface of a perfectly still pond. This practice is not about imagining the desired event or circumstance coming to you. Rather, it is about feeling yourself as already connected to it, already inhabiting the precise frequency where that event or circumstance inherently exists as a vibrant potential. From the perspective of the quantum field, which operates beyond our linear conceptions of cause and effect, the event you desire already exists. Your primary task is to become the vibrational match, the version of you who is naturally and effortlessly attuned to it. Step 4. Release attachment and cultivate trust. Perhaps the most paradoxical, and often the most challenging, aspect of this creative process is the act of complete release. Once you have clearly set your intention, fully embodied the corresponding state, and consciously extended your resonant energy into the field, you must then let go of your attachment to the specific how, when, and where the event will manifest. The quantum field operates on principles of coherence and resonance that often transcend our limited, linear notions of time, causality, and logistical unfolding. Your crucial task is not to micromanage or control the mechanics of manifestation, but to steadfastly remain in the frequency of the desired outcome, trusting implicitly that the field will respond in the most coherent, efficient, and divinely orchestrated way. This is where many individuals inadvertently sabotage their own creations. They prematurely revert to doubt, fear, impatience, or a sense of lack, thereby collapsing their energy back into the old, familiar, and undesired frequency. The art of consciously creating quantum events is, at its core, the art of sustained vibrational alignment, the unwavering maintenance of the desired internal state, even in the conspicuous absence of immediate, tangible external confirmation. As you diligently practice this four-step process, you will begin to notice subtle yet significant shifts in your awareness and your experience. Uncanny synchronicities, unexpected opportunities arising, insightful ideas appearing as if from nowhere. These are the early, encouraging indicators that the quantum field is responding to your new broadcast, that your focused energy has begun to successfully collapse new, desired possibilities into tangible form. And herein lies the most empowering aspect of this understanding. You can engage in this practice every single day. You do not have to passively wait for life to impose change upon you. You can become the deliberate architect of your own reality, proactively initiating quantum events through conscious, sustained alignment with the outcomes you most deeply desire. So now, as you reflect upon this transformative process, I invite you to choose a single word that powerfully symbolizes the quantum event you wish to consciously create next in your life. It could be a word like freedom, abundance, healing, love, clarity, or any other word that deeply encapsulates your desired shift. By articulating this word, perhaps even writing it down or sharing it in a sacred space, you are not only declaring your intention with greater conviction to yourself, but you are also anchoring it within a collective energetic field. Your chosen word becomes an integral part of your ongoing vibrational broadcast, a potent signal to the quantum field that you are ready, willing, and energetically prepared to collapse a new, extraordinary possibility into your lived experience. And now, let us proceed to the final, integrative part of this journey, where we consolidate everything you've learned and explore the profound transformations that occur when you begin to consciously create your reality through the intentional orchestration of quantum events. When you truly and profoundly accept that your mind is not a localized phenomenon, that it is not confined to the flesh and bone of your physical body, but instead exists as an active and influential participant in the vast, interconnected quantum field, everything changes. The way you perceive yourself, the manner in which you approach your challenges, and the fundamental nature of your relationship with the world undergoes a radical and liberating transformation. You are no longer a passive observer, helplessly waiting for life to happen to you. You awaken to the empowering realization that you are, and always have been, a co-creator of your experiences. An active force meticulously shaping your reality through the unique energetic signature you continuously broadcast into the quantum field. This profound awareness liberates you from the pervasive illusion that life is merely a sequence of random, haphazard occurrences dictated by capricious luck, immutable fate, or overwhelming external forces entirely beyond your control. You begin to see, with increasing clarity, that your consistent internal state, your predominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, is what sets the overarching energetic tone for the circumstances, events, and relationships that manifest in your life. Your emotional set point becomes your internal compass, your vibrational alignment becomes your most trusted guide, and your intentional focus becomes the principal architect of your unfolding future. When you wholeheartedly embrace this paradigm, you cease waiting for external signs and, instead, become the signal. You stop searching for external permission to change, to grow, or to heal, and you step fully and courageously into the role of the conscious creator. And perhaps most significantly, you stop fearing uncertainty, because you come to realize that uncertainty is not a void to be dreaded, but rather the very fertile space where infinite possibility resides, awaiting your conscious direction. Every quantum event you consciously create serves to reinforce this new, empowered identity. With each intentional shift, each successful manifestation, you progressively rewire your subconscious patterns, expand your energetic capacity to hold higher frequencies, and deepen your unwavering trust in the creative process itself. What once may have felt impossible or like a rare miracle, instantaneous positive shifts, remarkable synchronicities, the unexpected appearance of perfect opportunities, gradually becomes your new normal. This is not because the fundamental laws of the universe have altered, but because you have profoundly changed your relationship to it, aligning yourself with its inherent creative potential. You begin to approach challenges not as insurmountable obstacles to be feared or avoided, but as invaluable invitations to refine your alignment, to purify your intention, and to elevate your frequency. You perceive delays not as outright denials or failures, but as subtle cues from the universe to deepen your trust, to enhance your internal coherence, and perhaps to make necessary adjustments to your approach. You will notice, with growing conviction, that as your internal world stabilizes at a higher vibrational set point, your external world naturally and increasingly organizes itself around that stability, reflecting your inner state with ever greater precision and immediacy. This is the inherent beauty and profound liberation of becoming a conscious participant in the quantum field. Life ceases to feel like something that is arbitrarily happening to you and begins to feel like something that is gracefully and powerfully happening through you and for you. Your desires no longer feel like distant, unreachable aspirations. They become natural, organic extensions of who you are consciously choosing to become. Your sense of self expands far beyond the perceived limitations of your past experiences, beyond your conditioned responses, and even beyond your current material circumstances. And the more you consistently embody this empowered state, the more you realize that true creative power was never about attempting to control external events through force or manipulation, but about mastering your own internal alignment. The external shifts, the consciously created quantum events, are simply the natural, inevitable consequences of that internal mastery. So, as we draw this particular exploration to a close, I wish to leave you with one final, resonant thought. The quantum field is always, without exception, responding to you. Every single moment presents a fresh opportunity to choose alignment, to consciously adjust your frequency, and to step more fully into the embodied experience of the version of yourself who is already living the life you most deeply desire. The operative question is no longer, can I create a different reality? The far more pertinent and empowering question now becomes, am I willing to consistently become, in thought, feeling, and being, the version of me who naturally and effortlessly experiences that desired reality? If this journey of understanding and potential transformation has resonated deeply within you, and if you are committed to continuing your exploration of quantum manifestation, energetic alignment, and the profound, inherent power of your mind, I warmly invite you to become part of a growing community dedicated to these principles. Here, we endeavor not just to discuss theory, but to actively integrate it, to practice it diligently, and to live it collectively. Your continued journey into conscious creation is a path of immense discovery and empowerment. Trust the field, trust yourself implicitly, and always remember, you are infinitely more powerful and capable than you have ever been taught to believe.